What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We're back here with some more Wednesday night NBA. Hopefully, you guys had a good day yesterday. Looking at our free picks yesterday, we ended up 2-1 with a DMP. So one of our free slips ended up being a DMP. It was our man Norman Powell. He did not play. LaMelo Ball rebounds and assists was a slip that was a prop that we cashed. Sabonis PRA cashed for us. Then we had Draymond over 4.5 assists. Draymond Green ended with 4. He had 3 or 4 at halftime, one of the two. It was very close. He should have cashed. Unfortunately, he did sell our other slip. Looking at some of our wins from yesterday, well, you can see we had LaMelo, Bam, Hartenstein over here on chalkboard that cashed. We took UTEP with James Madison over on the sportsbook, 575 to win 500. We had our man Connor with the taco or whatever, $100 to win 200. Couple more slips. You guys can look at them if you want. Tacos, we went 2-0 on the tacos, and then the other one that we played is for Thursday night football for tomorrow night. So that one obviously hasn't went yet, and we have paired it with another football play. So hopefully it does cash us out. I am going to be picking a winner from yesterday's video to win a free month of VIP. And before we pick our winner, guys, I want to go ahead and say, if you guys have not signed up with one of our partnered apps, recommend doing so now. Right now in our Discord, we are doing a massive giveaway. I am giving away $25 cash to every single one of you guys who sign up with one of our partnered apps, which is in our Discord. I'm not going to shout it out on YouTube. If you're not in the Discord, join the Discord. I'm literally paying you your first $25 deposit on that, and it's a special that the app is running. So you guys can get a free month of VIP, $25 cash, plus I'll double the 25, so you're actually getting $50 cash for free for just signing up. Very easy to do. There's a link in the Discord to the Discord down below. Just send me a message on Discord if you want to know more information, and I can get you guys added. But anyways, let's go ahead and pick our winner from yesterday's video. If this video gets 250 likes, I'll pick a random comment down below to win a free month of our VIP. So winner from yesterday is going to be for... And this website's still bugging on me. It's for Hub 1207. I don't know why the format's all messed up. My internet's been fine, so I think it's actually the site itself. But Hub 1207 said, LFG, let's freaking go. Well, Hub, send me a message on Discord, my man. You won yourself a free month of VIP, and I appreciate the comment, the love, and support. If you guys do want to get all of our plays, link to our WAPs down in the description. You can get it for $25 a month or $10 a week. We are running a 20% off special on both of our packages, the Elite Mentorship and our regular package. You can get for 25 or 20% off using code NBA. Links down in the description. But anyways, guys, let's talk about some of these games and let's jump into some of these picks. So we got a nice NBA slate. Got some teams on back-to-backs. Not a whole lot today, which is great. There was only a 5-game slate last night, and some of those teams are not playing. So anyways, take a look at our first game of the day. It's going to be the Rockets taking on the Raptors. So I've been a big fan of the Raptors lineup this season, and they have proved me wrong time and time again. I got the Raptors plus 200 in their first game. They won and cashed me out. Played them in the second game, and they cost me a little bit more money. So, anyways, looking at this lineup right now, Toronto is plus 197 at home, 5.5 on the spread, and 232.5 on the total. Public betting has almost 90% of the money on Houston Rockets money line, and then 67% of the money on Houston covering the spread. Total's looking almost a 50-50 split. Both of these teams negative records right now. Houston's 1-2, got their first win last game versus the Nets. They lost to Detroit and OKC. If you look at this Toronto Raptors team, they've lost 3 in a row. Spurs, Dallas, and Milwaukee all beat them. They did beat Atlanta in game 1. But their lineup to me just looks good, man. They don't have a bad team. Not a lot of injuries right now. Pirtle is game time decision, so Pirtle's not on the list right now as the starting center. So we'll see what happens with that. But anyways, I think this is going to be a close game, man. I'm obviously... If I had to bet minus 200 or plus 200 on this team, these two teams, I'd put more money. I'd put the money on plus 200 for real. But I think the Rockets win. The only reason I'll take that is because of the odds. The juiced odds for Houston in a game that I think Toronto has a chance at, I wouldn't be able to play minus 200, but I do think Houston wins. I would fade anything Houston on this, minus 5.5, or if you want to play a juiced line, you can, but for me, I would just fade the minus 200, unless I was going to parlay it with another heavy favorite or another strong favorite. But I do think Houston gets this dub. So does the public. Usually when the public's on something, it can mess you up. So just be aware of that. This is a high-scoring game. Very good for props. I think our man Sengun has a good game, and I think our man KD has a good game. Also, I like Brandon Ingram in this game. Think he has a great game. You got RJ Barrett Barnes. You got a lot of potential props that could do well here. So good game for props if you want to look at it yourself. But I do like this game, and I'm Gonna fade it probably unless I've sprinkled a little bit on Toronto plus 200 or parlayed with Houston. So that's just because of the odds. But anyways, game 2, we got Magic taking on the Pistons. Detroit is plus 113 at home, plus 1.5 on the spread. Total on this game sitting at 226.5. Magic 1-3 and Detroit 2-2. 71% of the money right now is on the Magic, 67% on the Magic covering the spread, and then 72% of the money on the under on this total, which is a pretty low scoring total. Right now, the Magic are 1-3, like we said. They won their first game versus Miami, then they've lost 3 straight. Got beat by Philly, got beat by the Bulls, and then they got beat by Atlanta. So, in the reverse order of what I just said. Looking at the Pistons, they're coming off of a loss versus Cleveland, got blown out by 20 points. The game before that, they beat Boston and beat Houston the game before that. So, right now, Detroit's looked pretty good. At home so far, they're actually 1-1 at home, 1-1 on the road. So they actually been playing just as good on the road right now as they have at home. In terms of injury news, nothing we have to really look at for the Orlando side of things. Jaden Ivey's obviously still out. Ulcer Thompson is game time decision for illness. If Thompson doesn't sit, that's a big loss for Detroit. So pay attention to this one. This one I'm going to fade until I see anything about Ulcer because obviously at plus money on Detroit at home, it's not a bad bet, man. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I don't dislike this at all. I mean, I can see this is a coin flip game, really is. It can go either way. If Thompson sits, you're going to get way better value. So if you wanted to if you think the Magic win, I'd lock it in now just in case Thompson does end up getting ruled out. If he gets ruled out, then the Magic probably going to be like minus 180, minus 200, anything like that. So maybe it doesn't change that much, but that's probably what I would assume. It would get a decent amount worse. But anyways, this game, like I said, going to fade, wait on some news. Not a huge game I would take for props, to be honest with you. I don't trust Banchero anymore after chalking one of our free picks the other day. So, going to fade this one. This is not one of my favorite games on the slate. So, anyways, that's what I think of that one. Jumping into our next game, another good game, 233.5 total. Cleveland taking on the Celtics at home. Cleveland minus 151, Celtics plus 150 at home. Boston plus 3.5 on the spread. 80% of the money on the Cavs, and then 90% on them covering the spread. 66% of the money on the total. This one for me, I'm running Cavs all day, man. Cavs are 3-1. Celtics are 1-3. Celtics have not looked strong without Tatum. Jaylen Brown has stepped it up, but Jaylen Brown is game time decision. So obviously the Cavs still missing Garland, mixing Max. Other side of things, Tatum and Jaylen Brown game time decision. So obviously if Brown sits, this becomes a very juiced line for Cleveland in my opinion. But minus 155, I'm willing to play that juice line. It's a little bit juiced. They've only lost one game that was versus the Knicks in a close game of the opener. They've won 3 straight, man. They just beat the Pistons. They beat Milwaukee. They beat the Nets. Milwaukee or the Bucks have looked actually pretty good considering it's Giannis and friends. Giannis is a beast, as we found out in these last few games. So he actually sold my Knicks money line yesterday because Giannis popped off in the fourth quarter, or he popped off second half for sure. But anyways, like Cavs here, minus 150. I don't mind taking that line, to be honest with you. If you paired it with the Rockets, you could get plus money if you wanted to do that. But I think Toronto could sneak the win here at plus 200. So that one is a little bit risky for me. This one is, but I do like the Cavs in this game. Not that the Celtics can't win, but I like the Cavs to come out here and get a win. If you want to play them plus 100 on the spread, I don't dislike that either, especially if Brown ends up getting ruled out. Good game for props as well, in my opinion. This game right here, one of my favorite games in terms of props. These next two, actually, and these are going to be the last 2 games I talk about, and then we'll go into some free picks. We'll jump into some player props. But last 2 games, man, both of them 238.5 totals. Very high scoring game. Very good for props. Atlanta 1-3. Nets 0-4. Nets playing at home plus 300. And you're going to see something cool in a minute. I guess it's cool. But anyways, Nets plus 8.5 on the spread. So public betting right now, 62% of the money is on the Nets. Why? Because the Hawks haven't looked very good. And the Nets are plus 300. So at this juice line, more money obviously going to be on the net side of things in the NBA. NBA has a lot of upsets. We know that all the time. It's just how it is. But I do think that the Nets plus 300 is not a bad bet, man. If you want to put like half a unit, quarter unit or something on it, I wouldn't play 2 or 3 units on it personally. But if you want to put a unit on it, I wouldn't be mad at you. I don't think that's a bad bet. I think Atlanta wins. I think they're the better team for sure. But at plus 300, it's hard to not take take a chance on that line. 8.5 on the spread. Wouldn't hate you for taking that line either, but I'm leaning Atlanta to win this game. So let's go and take a look at these two teams, what they played so far this season. So the Nets coming off 4 straight losses, just got blown out by Houston, got beat by 11 to the Spurs. Spurs have looked good though as well. Got beat by the Cavs by 7. They kept it close. That was one of their only home game this season versus the Cavs. They kept it close. They are playing at home tonight. Atlanta on the road. Atlanta's 1-1 on the road, and then they lost both games at home. So lost to the Bulls in Chicago, and then beat Orlando in Chicago. So this one's tough, man. Looking at the only game they played versus the Cavs at home, kept it close. So I'm thinking maybe the Nets got a chance here. Looking at the lineup, our man Jalen Johnson is a game-time decision. Porzingis is no longer game-time decision. He was his last game. And then most of the Nets team's pretty much ready to go. So I don't dislike the plus 300 odds there if you wanted to risk it there. I think this is a great game for props. Obviously, Trae Young probably good for assists. Dyson Daniels probably good for rebounds and assists. Cam Thomas might be pretty good here for PRA points, whatever you want to take for him, as long as he doesn't play like he did last game. But regardless, like this game for props. Next game, Kings versus Bulls. Last one I'm going to talk about. You got Chicago minus 178 favorites at home, minus 5.5 on the spread, total 238.5, 49% of the money on the Bulls. So a 50-50 split on this game. This game is pretty coin flip, but the Kings are on a back-to-back. For me, it's the Bulls all day, minus 178, or I wouldn't take them minus 5.5. But Kings on a back-to-back worries me. I will say Sabonis plays very well on back-to-backs, and we'll look at some statistics here in a minute for Sabonis. But minus 5.5 on the spread, over 238.5. I'd probably fade the total on a team on a back-to-back, even though the Bulls do play very fast-paced. The Bulls have looked good, man. Just beat Atlanta, beat Orlando, and they beat Detroit. So they beat 3 decent teams already this season, and a team that's looked injury prone, man. Misses Zach Collins and Kobe White. We never thought that, or I didn't think that the Bulls were going to come out this strong early in the season. I thought they were going to struggle a little bit. Vucevic does not look like he looked at the end of the season last year. Vucevic has looked good. Giddey has looked good. Vucevic has been dominant, actually, and you're going to see me play a lot of Vucevic. He was the same way last season. Started out as a wagon for me towards the mid-season, end of season. After around Christmas, Vucevic kind of just fell off. So you're still going to see a lot of Vucevic from me. I'm just going to throw that out there. He continuously cashed me. I think he's missed one of the 3 games, but regardless, I like him here. Looking at Kings 1-3, their only win versus the Jazz, and a close win, won 105 to 104. They almost beat OKC last night, so a very tough fought game last night where they lost. Game before that, they lost to the Lakers in a close game. Every game has been close. Think they keep this game pretty close, but I got to run with the Bulls playing as strong as they are. So let's go ahead and jump into some player props. We're going to lock in some slips live, and we'll talk about some different apps we can play to get different value. So first pick I want to take is going to be for our man Drew Holiday. Now, this is going to be my goblin of the day. This is actually one of my plays of the day in terms of cashing. I think this line is really low, and I think it's a very, very good good prop for us to take, and I'll probably lock it in a couple of slips today. So play of the day, Drew Holiday. Like I said, I'm taking him at 14.5 points and assists. So his original line is minus 105 at 21.5. You can get him down to 14.5, and you can see how dominant he has been on this prop so far this season. He's averaging 25.5 points and assists. It's a great anchor to play with any regular line that you want to get a double up. I think this is going to hit. If I was going to play a ladder challenge or something, I'd probably play Drew Holiday 14.5 points and assists on it. He's been a great start this season with his new team. It's a very fast-paced matchup against a poor defensive team in the Jazz playing in Utah tonight, and I just feel confident in this play. So if you look at the Jazz's points and assist defense, one of the worst assist defense in the league, and they give up 12th in the league in points. If you go to the point guard position, 22nd and 30th. Terrible defense in both points and assists. And if you go to shooting guard, it gets a little bit better. But, I mean, regardless, if you average it out, you're looking at a pretty good matchup for our man Drew Holiday, who's averaging 25.5, almost 30 in his last 2 games. And that was versus the Clippers and versus the Lakers on the road in both of those. So he's been playing well on the road as well. Getting big minutes, 30-plus minutes per game. Expect a good matchup from Drew Holiday. If you look at him last season, he did go under both games versus the Jazz last season. But obviously he's playing for a different team. He's playing for the Celtics last season. He's now one of the big dogs for the Trailblazers, and I picked him up in fantasy for a reason. And you can see his minutes his last game versus the Jazz for Utah, or last season, was 23 minutes because he played for the Celtics and they didn't really need him that much. But anyways, Drew Holiday is pick number 1. You can play him on Prizepicks or parlay play. Parlay play, we'll pull him up real quick. Drew, and you can play him at a higher line. I don't like this line up to like 20, to be honest with you. 19.5 is not a bad line. Payout on this is horrible. I got it on. We'll see what the payout is. if we run the exact slip, but it was a double up on Prizepicks. And I'm going to go ahead and show you the slip that I ran on Prizepicks because it's going to be the free slip that I give today for Prizepicks. And it's going to be Drew Holiday, 14.5 points and assists with Julius Randle. I ran Randle Fantasy. Now, if you're trying to straight bet these, Randle Fantasy is not going to be on there, obviously. So, Randle Fantasy is a great play versus the Lakers, in my opinion. Minnesota versus Lakers, they always have good games, and Randle is going to be playing without his boy Anthony Edwards. So let's go ahead and take a look at this line real quick. We'll go ahead and pull Randle up as our second pick, Julius Randle. We're going to pull up points, rebounds, and assists. We're going to look at his RA. We're going to take a look at Randle all together. So first of all, fantasy score. He has cashed this every single game this season. Randle has looked freaking good. 44 fantasy score per game on average. Lineup, right now, they are going to be missing Anthony Edwards. You can see he is ruled out so far today. If he gets ruled in, I'm going to be a little bit tilted. But even with Randle, he's cashed this line. So Ant-Man missed the last game, played like 3 minutes this game. First two games of the season, Ant-Man played. And he had over 42.5 fantasy every single game there. So I like to play for Ant-Man, or for Randle, I mean. He did go under almost every game versus the Lakers last season, but no Ant-Man, and the way he's been playing, it's hard for me to fade him on this one. They play versus the Lakers in L.A. already once. He cashed this line already once. Tonight they're playing at home. So at home, his last two games have been at home, and he's had almost 45 fantasy in those. So obviously blocks and steals are a big thing for fantasy. If we click steals and block, he had 3 his last game. He had 3 in game 1. Versus the Lakers, he didn't have any. So that is a little bit worrisome, but I do think he gets a couple today. I think he gets a block and a steal today. I can see that happening for sure, or not for sure, but I can see that happening. I like his PRA. His PRA is 37.5. If I played his PRA, I'd probably buy it down slightly just because I like fantasy a little bit more because of the blocks and steals that he's had. So you could play RA. His RA line is probably 12.5 at 12.5. I don't dislike it. He is going to be he's going to be scoring a lot just due to no Ant-Man, so he's going to be needed to score. And he's going against a pretty weak team in terms of points allowed. So let's come over here and look at the points allowed from the Lakers. They give up 16th in the league in points allowed, 118 per game. If you go to power forward position, it's 13th. And you can see the stats they give up to the power forward. Give up a lot of assists, middle of the pack rebounds, middle of the pack points. But they are giving up a lot of stats overall in general, and they're pretty fast-paced. So I like this matchup for Julius Randle. I am going to pull this up on Props Madness. We're going to take a look at where the Lakers allow the points from. So we're going to come over here, hit Randle. You see he's got an orange and yellow matchup. So he shoots around 34% of his shots from behind the three-point line. If you look at the defense from corner threes, they have one of the worst defensive corner threes. Randle doesn't take a lot of shots there, but he does take a couple, and he does have a great matchup there. He takes 56% of his shots in the paint and under the rim, where he's going against the 17th ranked defense, and then top 10 in terms of in the paint. So overall, defensively, they're not giving up, or the shot chart's not looking great, but I still like this play. Another play we can look at is Austin Reeves. I like Austin Reeves as well versus Minnesota just because they're missing both LeBron and Doncic, and you can see how the way Reeves is playing. His line is through the roof. And we're going to take a look at that in a second, though, but we're just going to look at his shot charts. 57% of his shots in the paint under the rim going against a weak defense there. And then he shoots another 37% three-pointers where he has not a great matchup for threes, but he is it's AR, man. He can score on anybody, so especially when he's the guy to go to. But anyways, let's pull Julius Randle up on parlay play. I'm going to pull up his fantasy score line, and we're going to see what this payout is with his fantasy. So it ends up being a 1.94x. So you actually get better value playing this on Prizepicks. I'm going to go ahead and lock it in. What's his rebounds and assists? You can get at 12.5. You could play that as well, but I do like his fantasy today. I'm going to take this 250 to win us 485, and I'm going to lock it in. I showed it already, but I want to go ahead and lock it in live just so you guys know it's real. But anyways, there it is. It is on Prizepicks as well. So if I miss, I'm losing another unit on parlay play just because I'm trying to show it on the YouTube video. So leave a like for that at least. Anyways, what I was going to talk about is going to be this AR boost. So you got Austin Reeves, 34.5 PRA. It's a 1.36x right now. His original line is sitting at like 42.5. That is insane. So yeah, you're getting pretty good value at a 1.4, almost a 1.4x for 34.5 PRA, which I really like this line with no LeBron and AD. Or did I say AD? No LeBron and Doncic is what I meant to say. But Reeves, obviously they don't have AD either, but he's on a different team, obviously. But anyways, PRA right here, 34.5. He's cashed it every single game this season. He's averaging 51 PRA. The 2 games without Doncic, he has had 71 and 50 PRA. Dude has been 40 points plus in both games. So he's dominated. Playing 30, almost 40 minutes per game. Great line for Reeves at 34.5. We just got to find a pair. You can look at Minnesota's defense to the point guard position, give up tons of points, tons of rebounds, not many assists. If you go to the shooting guard position, it's a little bit different. They don't give up many stats to the shooting guard. I like to average these out usually, and you're looking around the middle of the pack. Regardless, this lineup doesn't really have anybody, man. You got Reeves, Hachimura, the lineup's just not that strong. So, I mean, you got to run with Reeves on this one if you're going to play anybody, in my opinion. Maybe Ayton. Ayton might have a good game. We'll see. He's been playing a little bit better than he did the first couple. But, anyways, I like AR in this one, and I'm going to be locking him in for this parlay play boost. And then the last play of the day that I'm going to run is going to be for our man. It's either Vucevic or Sabonis. I'm going to let you guys choose. So, Vucevic, 33.5 PRA. I'm technically giving you guys 5 picks. 33.5 PRA, you can play it. He's cashed 2 of his 3 games on the season, going against a team on tired legs. Sabonis is obviously the center for the Kings. Vucevic has a good rebounds matchup. Not a great points and assists matchup, but it's Vucevic who's had 9 assists his last game. Almost had a triple-double his last game. Almost had 20 rebounds. Dude has been a beast. So I'm going to run with Vucevic while he's hot. Hopefully he continues to catch us out. He had this line in he hit this line in one of his 2 games last season versus the Kings. He's playing big minutes, playing around 33, 34 minutes per game, obviously, if the game stays close. And it should stay close here tonight versus the Kings, in my opinion. So I like Vucevic for 33.5. If you want to lock it in, we can see the matchup here for Vucevic. So let's come down to the Kings versus the Bulls. Vucevic, he's got a green matchup in the paint where he shoots 35% of his shots, one of the weakest defenses there. Tough matchup everywhere else, but this kind of averages out a little bit considering he does shoot a lot of threes. 35% of his shots are going to be threes. But regardless, good matchup in my opinion, or a decent matchup at least, and in a team that's going to need him to step it up. I like this play. Then the other one was going to be Sabonis. I like Sabonis for 34.5 PRA as well. You can see his matchup here. The perfect matchup for Sabonis. Sabonis shoots 90% of his shots in the paint. 71% under the rim. Worst team in the league in terms of defense under the rim. So perfect matchup for Sabonis. We're going to pull Sabonis up. I'm going to show you guys how he looks on back-to-backs because it is a back-to-back for Sabonis. And he did have a tough matchup last night versus OKC where he had over 30 PRA. So he did play decent. Looking at Sabonis here at 34.5 PRA, he's missed it every single game this season. Now, if you look at him last season, he cashed this line 76% of games. Their lineup right now, Keegan Murray and Clifford are out. They've got pretty much a full healthy team. They got DeRozan, they got Levine, they got Schroeder. They got a decent lineup. Going against a team that's also struggling. We've already looked at the Chicago lineup as well. But anyways, let's go ahead and click this and go to back-to-back. So back-to-back games, Sabonis cashed this line 75% last season. He averaged 42 PRA. And I was worried when I pulled Sabonis up because I was thinking about playing Sabonis because it's probably going to be a pretty fast-paced game. I was like, man, I have to see Sabonis on back-to-backs because he might be one of those players who's lazy on back-to-backs. And I just didn't know off the top of my head. But he's not, man. He's dominated this line on back-to-backs. Head-to-head data, he had no back-to-backs versus the Bulls. But if you look at his only game versus the Bulls last time, he had 45 PRA, 15 rebounds, 22 points. So I like Sabonis in this matchup. If you want to fade him because he's on a back-to-back, I wouldn't blame you. But you can play either one of these. So Sabonis at 34.5 PRA gives us a 2.3x, or Vucevic at 34.5 PRA, 33.5 PRA gives us the same thing, and it's actually going to be a higher payout. So we can get Vooch at. You can't alt this line. So Vooch payout at 34.5 is 1.86x. So Vooch was 33.5. He got bumped. I'm probably just going to run Sabonis. I'm going to be honest with you, just because of the Vucevic bump. I'll play Vucevic on a different platform, since I can't get him at 33.5 anymore. So I'm going to play Sabonis at 34.5, even on the back-to-back. 250 wins us 575, and it is locked in live on the video. So those are the slips we got for today, guys. Drew Holiday, Julius Randle. That's pick number 1. And then we'll come over here, and don't tell this slip I had a $5 promo, and I just locked in a random slip. Sengun with Vucevic, 30. You can see Vucevic was 33.5. As you can see right here, he was 33.5 that we can't get anymore. So he should be 33.5 still on another platform, Underdog or something like that. Maybe even parlay play or Prizepicks. I mean, let's pull Vucevic up, see what he is. Original line on Prizepicks is 34.5, so he actually has got bumped there as well. So maybe he just bumped in general. But Sabonis and Reeves right here, 250 for 577. And then we got Holiday and Randall right here, 250 for 485. If you guys do want to tell the slip, so make sure you guys join the Discord. Get that free $25 I'm giving you guys. It's actually $50 and free VIP, so you're getting $75 in value there. If you guys missed it, right before I pick the free pick winner or the video winner, you'll hear me talk about it, and it's in our Discord too. So join the Discord if you're not in there already. Hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll see y'all in the next one.